Yo, so today's date is Saturday, September 10th, and I am on my way back down to Fort Lauderdale to help my uncle out and continue the transformational process of the Organic Life Body program. This is so awesome because he is my first actual client who I am recording the process with. So far, I've done this weight loss and total transformation, really. Like, it's not just about weight loss, but it's also about like mentality and mindset and just like lifestyle and everything combined into one, you know, program that is the Organic Life program. And so far I've done that with my dad, and I've got him to lose 50 pounds. All of his biomarkers improved, and he has stayed he went from 210 to 160 pounds, and he's been that way. He's kept it off for over 2 years now without like a problem at all. That was my dad. And then I went and I did the same thing with my neighbor. He lost like 20 pounds. I did the same thing with my friend, and then the same thing with my friend's dad. And now, you know, I figured, shit, this is like working, and people are staying, you know, lean when they do this Organic Life program that I'm creating. So I better go and record this shit because it's really good. So I'm going down to Fort Lauderdale again, gonna continue the process of helping my uncle out, and we're gonna keep on cleaning up his kitchen, and we're gonna keep on cleaning up his house, because you can't build a castle on sand. You can't build a house on sand. You can't have a clean mind when your environment is dirty, okay? You really need to make sure that things are clean, and that things, you know, you could see where things are, and you could have access to, you know, the stuff in your kitchen and to the stuff in your office. If you have papers everywhere and, you know, you're living like a hoarder, then that needs to be cleaned up. That's the first thing that needs to happen. I mean, I like to think of it as if maybe, I don't know, there's someone in the ghetto. Like, how you need to take that person out of the ghetto in order for them to really like be great. Yeah, there's people that are in the ghetto that rise up and they you know, do amazing things, but how much easier is it, you know, if you have that person and then you take them out and then you actually give them the tools and you set up the environment for them to succeed. Their level and their chances of succeeding and becoming like the awesome person that they are is so much greater, because they don't have the environment and the influences and the craziness that's going around them all the time, you know, holding them back or affecting them or conditioning them in different ways. So that's the first thing. You need to set up your environment to win, all right? So that's what I'm doing right now. That's what I did with my dad. I spent about 2 months cleaning his entire house before I even touched the nutrition aspect of it, okay? Because the same thing is with your mind, all right? If your mind and you are who you are, and your environment is all dirty and not clean, it's not going to be easy. So make sure it's that cleaned up. The second thing that I'm going to do is actually start the process. So we're going to be talking about why. Why is he doing this? Why do you want to do this? That's one of the most important things, is understanding why. What's the purpose? I don't know what his why will be. I know that he loves karaoke, and he hasn't been able to actually like perform and do it because he's gained so much weight and his legs are turning purple and stuff like that. So like, that's a big one, is so that he could go out and do karaoke again. But the other thing I think is that he could develop you know, a better relationship with his family and with his son and stuff like that. I feel like that would be a really, really big one too. And maybe, you know, his son will see what he went through and then be down to do the same thing. And there's so many things, but you have to have that why, you know. Why am I, and that's the perfect segue into why am I actually doing this? Why am I, you know, going down to Fort Lauderdale and creating Organic Life Body and Raskin.com and all of this other stuff? Is because there is so much. I really believe that people are awesome. I believe that you are awesome and that you have this great capacity inside of you. But if you're like, you know, you can't reach that if you're unhealthy. Your health is everything, okay? There's a saying, and it goes like, the man who has his health has 1,000 dreams, but the man who does not have his health has but one. And that is so true, because where I came from, I did not have my health, and that is the only thing that I thought of. And that is the only thing that a lot of other people think of, you know, when they don't have their health, when they are obese and their legs are turning, you know, purple from the weight and from cutting off the circulation, and they can't go for a walk, they can't even walk, you know, up the stairs or anything like that, because they get exacerbated, they get, you know, shortness of breath. And that's one reason. And then there's a lot of other reasons, actually. Like, I believe that CAFOs, concentrated animal feeding operations, where these animals are tortured, that is a horrible, horrible thing. And I'm not saying to go vegan, even though that could be a great thing and something that, you know, you might aspire to or something like that. But what I'm saying is understand what goes on in the world, you know, and I really believe that people need to understand these things and learn about them so that they can make better choices and improve the world and create more positivity in the world. That's the second, you know, why behind Organic Life Body and why I'm doing this. It's the CAFOs and the animals are a really, really big issue with this. And the other thing is that, honestly, there's a few more. I believe that people are great. I believe that people have this ability within them to do awesome things and to continue their awesome life and to actually make their life and create their life the way they want. And I don't believe that there's an age where that ends, okay? You have to think that while you're younger, it's easier to make changes and have them have a bigger impact on your life. But you could still do it even when you're 40, even when you're 60 years old, 70 years old, you can make the changes that will improve your life so much and just have you live such a happy and amazing and positive life, okay? The way that you have to think about change, though, is like this. Imagine that you're a meteor and you're heading towards Earth. If you're 10 light years away, okay, or a light year away, if you're really, really freaking far away, you make one small change in your course, like this, just like, you know, you're heading towards Earth and you're heading like this. But if you're really far away and you make one small change, that will inevitably make it so that by the time you get to Earth, you know, you're really, really far away. But if you're older, that means that you're closer to Earth, all right? So the change that you have to make, instead of just a small one, you have to make a large shift, okay, in order to not hit Earth, all right? And that's why doing things when you're young is so important, but also remember and understand that there are so many cases where people didn't reach their success or like do their amazing things until really, really later on in life. I think Colonel Sanders was like 60 years old or something like that before he made his Kentucky Fried Chicken, you know, a big thing. And it's funny that I mentioned that, considering how CAFOs and all of that, you know, are something that I'm so against. But the fact that it's still possible, you know, he made his success. What about the great authors, you know, who are in their 40s or 50s, who, you know, when did the person who made Harry Potter actually, you know, how old was she? I don't think she was in her 20s, you know, I don't think she was even in her 30s, but, you know, it's pretty big. And so there's never a time where you could say, I'm too old. That's where I'm saying. There's never a time where you can say, I'm too old to change. Because if you are alive, you can change. If you are alive, you could better your life. And this is so big, okay? So understand that. And that's another thing that I want people to get. And the last, a big thing with Organic Life Body and the whole program that I'm developing is that it's not just about diet, okay? It's not just about weight loss. It's not just about even getting physically healthier. It's about a complete lifestyle change of physical, mental, emotional. Like, there is so much that goes into being healthy. It's your diet, it's your lifestyle, it's your spirituality, it's your career, it's your relationships. That is huge. I mean, think about it. Think about people who come home and they binge eat at night. all right? They come home, they binge eat at night. Would that same person, does that person have a mental disorder? Do they binge eat at night because of a disorder of the brain or of their physical body? Or maybe they just need a little bit more love. Would that same person binge eat at night if they came home to a spouse or to a partner who gives them a hug and who loves them and who, you know, expresses their love, and they could actually, you know, talk to each other? I don't know. I don't know if that same person would be binge eating or doing that thing. You see how it's so interconnected? Everything in life, like from diet to relationships to career, you know, has to do with how happy you are and has to do with the way that you create your life. And man, that's the other thing. People don't realize that you could literally create your life. Like nowadays, okay, check this out. This is really hard for the older people to get too. And especially for people who don't understand where this is all coming from because it's so new. But understand this. 10 years ago, it was, you have to choose your passion and be broke, or do what you love and be broke, or, you know, be in the corporate world, or choose a job that you're not really that happy about, and that's how you can make money, you know? But nowadays, because of technology, because of YouTube, because of you guys, because of the internet, it's so switched. It has switched. Nowadays, you could do what you love, okay, and you could make probably more money than you've ever imagined, because you're doing it from the heart. As long as you're doing it from the heart and you're passionate about it, because you need to put in the hours. You need to put in, you know, the 10-hour days, the 12-hour days, all of that stuff. And if you're not 100%, you know, satisfied with what you're doing, it's going to be hard as hell to put in those hours. I mean, a lot of people, some people do it, and yeah, they make hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, but, you know, at the same time, let me turn this off, at the same time, are they really happy? I don't want to make $1 million or $10 million or whatever I end up making. I don't want to do that and be miserable, you know, end up shooting my brains out. I think like it was in Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which is amazing book. Please read this book if you have not read Think and Grow Rich. But he explained how all of the top, like I think 8 out of the top 10 or 15 like people who were the wealthiest people in the world at the time that he wrote the book ended up killing themselves. Like, that's horrible. I don't want to do that. I want to spread positivity. And you know what's happening right now? The social conditioning of the world, okay, is negative. That's the way it is. That's the way it's always going to be, because there's always going to be more negativity than there is positivity. There's always going to be more conditioning of negative mindsets and scarcity mindsets than there is of positivity. And, you know, it doesn't matter if there's no technology, because even if it was just in the local community, there's more negativity than there's more positivity. But now with the internet, you're really getting a lot more. And with the news, when the news came out, 24-hour news, people are drawn in to car crashes and plane crashes and craziness in the world and killings and stuff like that. Like, take the example, what's happened over the last couple of weeks with the floods in, what was it, Louisiana or something like that. Like, okay, back in 2008 or whenever that, or 2006 or whenever Bush was president and the levees broke and New Orleans went underwater, okay, and there was all the riots and there was all the looting and everyone was going crazy and doing all these like horrible things. There was so much news and so much press on that topic, okay? And it was like every day, all this negative shit, and everyone was blaming Bush, and everyone was blaming the president, everyone was blaming the people, and all of this craziness that was happening. That was back then, okay? And that was 24/7 what was going on. And it was a big deal. Yeah, we should know about it, but it was framed in such a negative light. Right now, like literally a few weeks ago, a few months ago, what was happening in, I believe it was Louisiana, was that there was more rainfall than there's been in decades, and there was massive amounts of flooding, okay? So much flooding that people's houses were underwater, okay? Where was this on the news? Where was this anywhere? You hardly heard of it. You probably never even heard of it until I'm telling you right now. This was huge. Entire towns were underwater, and yet it wasn't a story. And you know why? Because the people of these suburban areas and these urban areas came together and they helped each other out, and they put each other, you know, they gave each other food and they gave each other shelter, and there was no riots and there was no looting and there was no crazy shit that was actually going down, besides the fact that it was a natural disaster and there was lots of flooding. But the thing is, there was so much positivity going on in that town, which was awesome, in all of these little towns, and it didn't, you know, make the news. It was a non-story because there wasn't craziness going on, and that's what we're going against. So we have to be as positive as possible, and we have to, you know, give out as much positivity as we possibly can, because the world needs it, okay? And that's what I want Organic Life Body to do. That's what Louis Raskin is going to do. That's what I'm going to be doing, you know, louisraskin.com and stuff like that. That's what the message that I want to get out is, that we need as much positivity as possible in this world, and through the programs that I'm going to make is the mindset, along with the body, along with the lifestyle, along with the emotional health and the relationship health. It is going to help so many people, and by helping as many people as possible, they're going to tell more people, and it's just going to really, honestly, help the world be a better place. And that's where I want to come to. That's with the CAFOs, that's with the emotional health, that's with everything, okay? And so I'm going back down to Fort Lauderdale, helping my uncle out. You know, I'm doing this process, I'm recording everything, and when it's all said and done, I'm gonna put it all up, you know, every single day of the process. It's gonna be so cool, and you're gonna see it all. You're gonna see his transformation, because I swear to God, the transformation I had with my dad, who, like, I'm just gonna say it, my dad was on drugs, you know, pain medication for his knee, and that the doctor gave to him, and you know, with all the shit that happened in his life, he had over $250,000 stole from his business, and he was so depressed and so it was really bad. It was really bad. Like, the whole house, there was paper and like furniture and shit stuck up to the very, very top. You know, he was a hoarder. Like, there's no other way to say it besides he was a hoarder. Like, I cleaned that up. Now he's clean, dude. He is clean. He's happy. He's emotionally, like, stable and good, like, and positive. And he broke a glass the other day. He broke 2 glasses. And, like, he laughed about it. He laughed about it. Like, he didn't curse. He didn't say, he just, like, thought this is funny. Oh my God, that is so awesome. Because I remember just a few years ago, he would have went batshit crazy and started cursing all over the place. And, like, oh my God, but he laughed at that. And that's where we can transform people, okay? It can actually happen through this transformational process, through Organic Life Body, through all of this stuff. Oh, and it's so, I can't wait. And I can't wait for you to see this entire transformation. And then, you know, it's going to be dope, because I'm putting everything on video, and then I'm going to have the entire process, and not just the process, but like the system down, okay, into a program that people will be able to get into, and literally it's all going to be available for people. And that's just the coolest thing ever. So I'm in my car now. I'm about to get to his house. I'm going to sign off now, and then I will update more, and I'll press the record button right when I get to his house, so you'll be able to see the progress. All right, talk to you later. You're awesome. Stay awesome. Peace out. Bye.